Hi guys, this is part 9 of the video series I'm doing on the wreck, or after the accident, where I was rear-ended by a tractor trailer. Anyway, it's Saturday, so today I'm hoping will be a little bit easier, not so busy. Anyway, I haven't been awake that long. Just woke up. Anyway, I've been awake a little bit, but anyway. There's a few things on my agenda to do today. One, I want to see if there's, maybe I can, make it a little more comfortable in this car. In this car, I've been, in my previous car, in my Ford Focus, I never had an issue. I generally just slept in the front seat of the car, and I never had an issue with it. It didn't bother me. It was a little small, but it really didn't, I guess I got used to it because it really didn't bother me. And in the previous car before that, I had a Ford Taurus. I had a couple of them, and I slept, fairly well. I slept fairly comfortably in the driver's, in the front seat, in the driver's seat. Never had an issue. One of them had shifter on the steering wheel, so it was a little better than the one that had shifter in the floor. But either way, I still done okay. One of the most comfortable cars was my Chevy Impala, and I slept fine. It had shifter in the floor, and I slept fine in the front seat. But anyway, on this car, I didn't, I'm not sleeping in the driver's seat because I figured, it's got leather seats for one. It has seat covers on it, and it's leather, but it's just, the seat covers tend to kind of slip and slide around. There's a couple things online I've looked at, that might help them from slipping around a little bit. One of those things is some kind of like a non-stick shelf lining. I saw that on some lady, she calls herself Alaska Granny, and she's on YouTube. Anyway, so I saw that, and she said that's what she uses on her leather seats. Eventually, when I do end up with something else, maybe when I do get something else, hopefully, it won't be leather seats, but I don't know that. Anyway, so I'm thinking of, anyway, for right now, I just want to try to find something to make it a little more comfortable in this car. I don't sleep in a driver's seat on this car because, it's got a full, I think a full 6-way or 8-way power seat. So the whole thing is power. The back and everything is power. And I just, decided not to sleep in the driver's seat because the passenger seat has a manual. It's a power seat, but the back is manual. Anyway, I fell asleep one day in the driver's seat, and I actually think it might be a little more comfortable. But anyway, I just don't like the whole power seat putting it all the way down, and it does go almost flat. Not quite all the way flat. That's the downside that I found with some seats. They will recline, only some will recline all the way back. I know my Chevy Impala, my Ford Taurus, they all reclined all the way back. This one does not. My Ford Focus did not recline all the way back. It only reclined about 3/4 or maybe 80%. So not all the way back, but it was okay. It was comfortable enough. Anyway, so today on my agenda is to go to the thrift store. I'm going to look for maybe a couple more. I have one comforter. It's kind of thin, but not bad. I'm going to look for maybe another comforter and maybe another comforter. I have a pillow, but a comforter, maybe another pillow, maybe. I haven't decided on that yet. I don't want to accumulate too much. But I would like to get maybe another comforter or two, and maybe see how the back seat does. If the back seat sleeps a little better. I've gotten in the back seat. I've sat back there. Well, I haven't really sat back there, but I did get back there. Anyway, I'll be back with you just in a little bit. Anyway, as I was saying, I've gotten in the back seat of this car, only briefly. and it wasn't bad. There's quite a bit of room in the back seat, so I'm hoping, I'm going to see how that does and see if that works. You know, and if it doesn't, it does have split folding back seats. I've tried to keep what I've put in the trunk minimal so that I can see how the how it would go, since both seats fold all the way down, or not quite all the way flat when they go down, but they're pretty close. And I have watched a couple videos on building it up and making it flat from the back seats into the trunk to kind of make a little, make a, like a bed, if you will. But, so I've looked into that as well. I guess my next step is just see how the back seat does, try that a couple nights, because the front seat is not that great. And, one of the things that makes it not so great on this car is the fact that the seats are, the tushy part, where your tushy sits, it raises up too much under the knees, so my legs dangle too much. And I never had that issue with the other cars. I never had it with my Focus or my Tauruses or even my Impala. I never had that. So there's too much leeway, between the seat, between where my knees bend and down to the floor. There's just too much, I guess, they dangle too much. And that's one of the issues that I don't like about this car, or this seat rather. Let me say not the car, the seat. And if I, adjust the power part, and I adjust it down, then it doesn't recline back as much. So anyways, today I'm going to try to see what I can do with the back seat. If that doesn't work, I'll probably do that a few days, a couple days, few days. Because I slept in the seat the first night, and I went, you know what, I'm going to do the back seat the next night. But I just didn't get my stuff together. I was so busy. And then for the last 3 or 4 days, I just haven't. I just have been too busy, and I just said, screw it. I'm going to, just go sleep in the front seat. But tonight, I think I'm going to, Saturday, it's going to be a little bit slower day, I hope. And I'm going to try to see what I can do, and maybe just, sleep in the back seat for a couple nights. Just see what I do, see how it works. If it doesn't, then I will progress to trying to see what I can do with the back part, the back seats down and the trunk part. Which will also give me an idea of how other vehicles, similar vehicles, would be. I mean, if I can make a bed or something into the trunk, that will tell me how other similar vehicles with split folding seats will do. I know some, of course, I'd have to look at them. Some don't have a lot of give in between. I know I looked at an SUV, and I talked about this in another video. The Kia Sorento had a lot of give between the back and where the seats came down, but then the GMC Acadia did not. So that is something that I will have to look at. The Hyundai Sonata had split folding seats, but I did not look to see how, I didn't look to see if they came together. They were pretty well flush. I didn't look at that primarily because I looked at the trunk, and the trunk was a little small. So I just and the price range was a little high. So I just decided I couldn't do that. But anyway, this gives me an idea when I go to look at other cars. I can see how the split, see how it does. See if it'll be workable or won't be workable. And then from there, that'll tell me whether I need to just try to get into a van or I prefer getting into a van, but right now, I'm kind of where I just need to get a car. Anyway, I need to get something because my truck, I only have my truck, and my truck is in the shop, and I don't know how long the truck's going to be there. And, as I explained before, I slept in the front seat of the truck and the passenger side, and it wasn't bad. If it had just if it had just 2 more inches of leg room in the front, it would have been okay. And it didn't lag. There wasn't, from the knee part to the floor, there wasn't as much lag either. And the seat actually went almost flat in the truck. So, because it's an extended cab. Anyway, that's on my list to do today. Try to find something, make my sleeping arrangements a little more comfortable in this vehicle. Until then, I will get back with you guys a little bit later. Anyway, one thing I wanted to add is when I first started traveling, I did sleep in the back seat of the car I was in. At that time, that was back in 2007 when I first started traveling, and I had a new Ford Taurus, and I did sleep in the back seat when I started out. In fact, it didn't even dawn on me, or I didn't even think about even trying to sleep in the front seat. I just figured that would be way too uncomfortable. I actually found out later, I think I said this in another video, I actually found out much later that sleeping in the front seat was actually comfortable. But when I started out traveling, I slept in the back seat. I routinely slept in the back seat, and I really didn't have much of an issue, I don't think. I mean, but back then I didn't sleep a lot, you know. I only slept maybe 4 hours a night, so it wasn't bad for 4 hours. Eventually I guess it did start to bother me, and one of the reasons is when I got my Ford Focus, I tried to do the same thing. I tried to sleep in the back seat, and it just wasn't doable in a Ford Focus because it was just too small. You know, it's just back then, I was like 2007, you know, just a tiny little hatchback. It wasn't comfortable enough. In fact, it's the little car I bought brand new. It's the one that I just wrecked, that was in, you know, got rear-ended by the tractor trailer and is now totaled. I love the little car. I had never had an issue with it, so letting go of that little car, that's been kind of a difficult thing, and it's always, I think, for anyone who's been in one car for a while, and I was off and on, though. I was between the Ford Focus and the Ford Taurus I had, that the dealership finally said they couldn't fix. So I was kind of between the two. And, you know, I drove the Focus usually in the wintertime, and in summertime I would drive my Taurus. But anyways, I think for anyone that's been in one particular type of vehicle for a while, you know, switching to something different, it's different, you know. It may not mean that it's better, it may not mean that it's worse, it just means that it's different. And, you know, and I do know whatever I get will be newer, but, you know, forget all that. I believe that probably it's, you know, if you've been in one vehicle for a while and you really, really like that vehicle, in my case, I loved my Ford Focus, even though it could have been bigger, could have been more comfortable. I still loved it. And I loved the fact that it was so reliable. I never had an issue. Never ever. I mean, I never ever thought, I never ever worried that I would get in it one day and it wouldn't start, you know. And if it didn't start, it was a dead battery. And that did happen a few times through its life. But never ever did I worry that I'd get in it, it wouldn't start. I never worried I'd be out in some desolate area exploring, taking pictures, and it wouldn't start. I never worried about that. And honestly, the first Ford Taurus I had, it was a 2001, and I traveled in that car for 4 years. And letting go of that car was it was very hard. I knew I had to. It had 250,000. And then the power seat went out, and I had to trade. And I've talked about this briefly. I had to trade on the fly when I was on the road. Got into the Chevy Impala, which I've talked about, and got a loan upside down in it. But the Taurus, I liked it. I mean, it was so comfortable, and it was just a very difficult time, you know, when I first had to let that car go, and I traded it, and it had 250,000 on it. So I knew I had to. It was time to get something else, but regardless, it was still a big loss for me, because it really was. In fact, I would drive back around because the car sat on the dealership lot for a while before I had to leave the area, and it sat there for a little bit, and I would go back almost daily, and I was just, you know, because I was sad, you know. It was hard getting into another vehicle. Luckily, the Chevy Impala was super, super comfortable. As a matter of fact, it was more comfortable than the Taurus, although I missed the Taurus, but it was more comfortable, and it was one of the best riding. It was the Chevy Impala. I had a 2008, and it was one of the best. It was reliable up until the transmission issue, but it was very, very comfortable. I mean, one of the best travel cars I've ever owned. It was one of the best travel cars I've ever owned. So, and then eventually I got back into my Ford Taurus, and that was hard. That was a step down, so that was hard. But anyway, I'm going to go for now. I'll be back with you guys a little bit later. Hi, it is the end of the day and I am at a supermarket. I'm about ready to go in. Anyway, I already have some fruit. I left some fruit in the refrigerator at the house. I'm tired. It's like I said before, it's been a very long week. Today's Saturday. It's been just a really long week. Anyway, I did get some stuff done. I went to the thrift store. I did find another comforter, which I think will work on any car in the back seat. Because of the split folding seats, I can actually, put the comforter over the back seats and then kind of snap it in place, kind of. Put the comforter over the seats and then push the seats back. So I was able to do that. I also did some rearranging. I took my little go bag my little cosmetic bag that I put my toothpaste and toothbrush and deodorants and that kind of thing in. And I took everything out of it. I found another little bag at the thrift store that I only paid $1 for. I also found some little small, what they call coin purses, which are big, that will hold like my sunscreen and razors and, a few things like that, and put those into that little plastic dollar red bag that I bought. It's about the size of a handbag. It was in the handbags. But anyway, I didn't pay but $1 for it. So I did that. I picked up another comforter, tried to, rearrange things in the car a little bit. So maybe I can sleep a little better. I don't know. I haven't decided tonight. I kind of like the front seat, but anyway, I haven't decided on what I want to do. It's kind of cold tonight, so I don't really like having to, it's a little cold, and when it gets really cold, I do let the engine run. And not all night, of course, just a little while. But anyway, I don't like leaning over the seats to start the car. Anyway, so I don't like doing that. But anyway, it's the end of the day, and I thought I'd just do a small follow-up video, just to follow up on what I was doing earlier today. Like I said, earlier today was kind of a, not a hectic day, because when I arrived at my, arrived at the house, I was like, okay, I got myself some potatoes, I had some potato salad and slaw and whatever in the refrigerator. I got that. I ate some cranberry sauce, eat some of my food up. And then I sat down and I watched some TV, because my ex-husband was, watching TV until, he had to leave and go take care of the elderly family member, and he left about 3:30. So basically I sat for about a couple of hours, watched TV, and then headed over to I did some other things too, but like, I had to run to the pharmacy and whatever. And then I went home, and first I went to the thrift store and found my stuff. Then I went home and I reorganized, and I did this the other day, and I think I told everyone, what I did, how I reorganized. But anyway, just to recap, if I didn't, I don't remember. Anyway, just to recap, instead of, separating everything like I had before, like pants and shirts in one bag, or one duffel bag, and then undergarments and socks and that kind of thing in another duffel bag, I put everything together. I put pants, shirt, undergarments, socks into one bag. Into one bag, which goes into a duffel bag. So I instead of about, I think before, with only pants and shirts, a medium-sized duffel bag would hold, I think, about 10 outfits, 8 or 10, I think, about 10 outfits, with everything added to it, a shirt, my shirts, outer shirt, socks, everything. I got it down to 5. It's at 5 outfits. So I'm still a little more than what I wanted, but I like to have enough clothes, because if I don't have enough clothes, you know, I like to do at least 10 outfits, you know, maybe 12, because if I do any less than that, then I'll get towards the end of my, you know, I won't have anything to wear, and I won't find a laundromat, and then I'll end up buying more stuff. And so I don't want to buy more stuff. So I'd rather make sure that I have enough stuff with me. But anyways, and this car fits fine. You know, it's got a big trunk, fits fine. But anyway, so today I took out some of my headbands. I love headbands. And I took out some of my headbands and some of my scarves that I use for headbands, and just put, you know, a minimum amount in. And then like I said, reorganize my cosmetic bag, you know, and did some reorganization. And I have not got to reorganizing the house yet. That I have not done. So hopefully I'll get around to doing that in a day, you know, in a few days or something. But anyways, I haven't heard about my truck yet. My truck is still sitting in the repair shop, and it's been sitting there for Monday will be a week. It's been sitting there. He's a very busy mechanic, so I knew it would take a few days. I went over to the auto repair shop today, and I got some more stuff out of the truck. I moved more stuff into the house, and then reorganized, and, you know, tried to reorganize. I took a few things that had been in my focus, and, you know, I took them out, and I got them all, you know, into, you know, and organized. So, cause I want everything pretty much as organized as possible, so that whatever, car's good to go. I also picked up, which I did that a couple days ago, picked up some of that nonstick shelf liner that, the Alaska Granny, she talked about on her channel. It goes underneath, you can put it underneath seat covers on leather to help keep it from sliding. I don't know if it'll work. I hope it does. Maybe, you know, anyway. So like I said, it's the end of the day, and I'm just going to get off. I'm going to end this video. I did, altogether, I've done 2 videos today. I did one longer 45 or 48 minute video on, you know, on like an accident, you know, if you're in an accident, or if you have a major breakdown and you have to get another vehicle. You know, there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. And you don't really think about how much there is to do until you're actually doing it. And then you realize there's a lot more to it than, you know, there's a lot more to it than just, you know, especially when, you know, if you have a lot of, you know, if you're living in your car, or you're, you know, you're in your car 3/4 of the time, 75% of the time, then you got a lot. You probably, if you're anything like me, you got a good bit of stuff. I mean, you've got everything you need, definitely a lot more than the average person. The average person that goes home to a house every day is not going to have anything in their car. So, and there's a lot to it. I mean, you've got to take everything from the old car or the old vehicle, put it into the new vehicle. And it is, you know, it's just, there's a lot, you know, it's not just that. It's everything. It's from the very beginning, from, in my case, from the moment that I was stuck out there in the middle of the interstate when the tractor trailer hit me, right up until today when, I mean, it started that day, you know, having, you know, and that day was very busy. The next day was busy. The next day after that, I mean, it was just busy every day. And the first day I wasn't even able to do anything because I was sick. So, you know, the first day I wasn't even able to, you know, to really do anything because I was actually nauseous. I felt sick to my stomach all day. So the first day, really, I didn't do anything. I mean, I did a couple of videos. I did, I think, maybe a video, but that's it. And maybe a tiny little bit of something, but very little. Second day, I still didn't feel that great. And I'm still having back pain. I mean, I definitely have back pain. And that's yeah, anyways, As I said in an earlier video, I did talk to a lawyer yesterday, and I have retained his services. So, you know, got that done. Anyway, so that's a plus. It's getting late. It's about 10 o'clock, and I'm getting hungry. I need to run in here to the supermarket, and I have my fruit, which I've had in the refrigerator a couple of days, and I'm going to eat it tonight. And I also have some Hershey chocolate cake that I got at Walmart, and I've had that for, I think, a couple days. So I need to get off here so I can go eat. Anyway, it's the end of the day. I'm not at the truck stop yet. As soon as I get done with the supermarket, I'm going to head to the truck stop, eat my dinner, watch a little TV, Law and Order UK. I'm kind of on binging on that show now. Not binging because I only watch like one episode a night, but binging as much as you can binge. Anyway, so this is it for this video. This was part 9 of the whole aftermath after the accident, after the rear end hit by a tractor trailer. So anyway, I'm gonna get off now. I gotta eat, go to the truck stop. So whenever you watch this, I hope everyone has a good day, a good evening, good day, good weekend, and God bless.